everyone. Okay, so from jump, Vegapunk wastes no time in dropping a lore bomb on us and revealing that during the early reign of the world government, the Iron Giant attacked Marie Joie, possibly on order from Joy Boy. So just this little bit, tiny bit of information in itself is very revealing in the sense where, much like Zunisha, how much you want to bet that the robot only ever responds to the drums of liberation, which also means that just like Zunisha, that robot was one of Joy Boy's followers not long ago, whose soul only responds to the drums of only awakens when its soul responds to the drums of liberation, and that's the reason Vegapunk couldn't replace its power source, couldn't replicate its power source, because how are you supposed to replicate a soul? Also, I gotta say, the timeline of events as they're explained definitely seems to indicate that the Iron Giant is the one who left that apology letter to Joy Boy on the poneglyph, meaning whatever the Iron Giant was doing at Marie-Joie, its mission failed, and it was a mission so important that the Iron Giant probably felt just ashamed of failing its mission. Now what that is, yeah, we have to wait and see. Also, before I forget, I gotta give the Seiyu playing Vegapunk so much credit in this episode, as I feel he really got to play around with his character's vocal range and just be as over the top as possible. But more so, I really liked the moments where Vegapunk was annoyed with Luffy, as you can tell the Seiyu really captured the cadence of someone who's the smartest person in the room being annoyed by having to have the conversation with the absolute biggest dumbass in the room. So it's like, yeah, I like how the Seiyu actor got to play around with that a bit, which apparently, from what I learned, the Seiyu voice actor for Vegapunk is the Japanese voice actor who played Dr. Doofenshmirtz in the Japanese dub of Phineas and Ferb, which that is probably the most random, obscure get ever. But you know what? It's a pretty good get. It's a pretty on the nose kind of get for a character like Vegapunk, which yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When it was mentioned to me, I can't unsee the idea of Doofenshmirtz's American actor being the one to play Vegapunk in the dub now. I don't think it's gonna happen, but it would be hilarious if that would be the case. I don't know and yeah, beyond that though, this is definitely an episode where you could say shit hit the fan from multiple angles. As after telling this story, Vegapunk immediately sequesters Luffy's aide to get off Egghead Island, as Lucci and the others land on the island itself. All the while, something awakens within Kuma as he makes a mad dash off the Kamabaka Kingdom to go somewhere. And yeah, in order to just kind of compile all these events into one, the best thing I can say is we're basically at that turning point now where Oda really starts to cook with this arc, because Kuma escaping off the island is basically one of the biggest triggers for so much plot and history revealed to us, especially with the small line we get from Vegapunk about his regrets with what happened to Kuma and how he does understand like Bonnie's anger. I never thought it was understand, when I first was reading this arc, I never in my wildest dreams imagined that Bonnie would play such an integral role in what was to be revealed to us. But even and this was even after learning that Kuma was her father. But then with the stuff we're going to get, it's like Oda so masterfully crafted what's coming next that it's kind of amazing he managed to keep every single little detail in check, coherent and in a way coherent and in check. Like, I don't know how he did it, but he did it. But yeah, moving beyond that, obviously we also get more with CP0 in this episode, with Lucci's group getting prepared to raid the island after a failed negotiation, which, yeah, from here it's pretty obvious to tell where things are going with that plot thread. And I will admit that whole part with the negotiation between CP0 and Shaka and whatnot, it was probably the slowest part of the episode in my mind. Like, it felt like it dragged on maybe a little bit too long, honestly. Um, Now, and with that said, you probably noticed I don't have a whole lot to talk about with this episode, and that's mostly because there's a rather interesting trade-off I experienced with this episode, which is to say, despite so many plot reveals, it definitely felt like like this this is one of the arc's slower paced episodes, but simultaneously to that, I also found this episode to be kind of the most beautiful, as the lighting, color, shading, and mood, just overall mood being set for the episode was basically all on point and very expertly done, especially expertly directed. I especially loved when we got the moment of Vegapunk explaining his visions of a limitless energy source for the world. Is where I feel this episode really popped off. Like, it's one of those scenes that's so colorful to the point I've legitimately wondered if it was gonna give me a seizure, and I'm only half joking on that last part. But yeah, seriously, the way the anime captured that moment, I think was one of those things that is one of those scenes that they did kind of better than the manga, as it it really gave you a great visual characterization of just what Vegapunk's dream looks like in his head. Although, as said before, with him asking Luffy to take him off with the Straw Hats, he probably knows it's a dream that he's not likely to see to fruition now that the government has attacked the island. So yeah, one way or another, he's probably not going to make it off this. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Analyst Crunchyroll, push the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight of Any signing off. Later, everyone.